Primrose is worth talking about, in my opinion, because these shot up rather quickly just recently. But the ones down where I documented them last year in order to see if the goats destroyed them, there's nothing there, and nothing's even coming back over there. But I do have a couple of Hooker's Evening Primrose over here, and this one is flowering. Fantastic. What a beautiful plant. And birds love this. It's constantly providing seeds. And obviously, the flowers are going to be beneficial too. And it's providing an opportunity for spider. Spiderwebs are cool. Look at that little tunnel here. The existence of plants goes well beyond the obvious. So many different opportunities for other organisms. Opportunities that don't exist if the plant doesn't exist. Speaking from the perspective of someone who enjoys watching what animals interact with what other animals or other plants in this case, it makes me very sad that I'm not going to have that opportunity, because rather than seeing a cycle in which different organisms come to be able to enjoy this plant as it provides different things, this is going to be destroyed. This is going to be wiped out. This is going to be consumed and trampled by a program that is supposedly doing good things. I found some more Hooker's Evening Primrose. And again, I see a similar spider web. I think it's interesting. I think it's worth considering when I look up these plants after I discover them. I'm trying to learn about them. That very specific insects use very specific plants. I think it's tempting, if you're not paying attention to the natural world, to think that any plant is as good as the other. But, you know, some moths, some butterflies will go extinct due to their plants that they like to cocoon on or feed off of not existing. I got to improve my spider knowledge. I must have had too much coffee too, because I cannot hold this still. But look at the way the leaves are shaped, and look how the spider uses those leaves to create a very specific type of spider web. How long did that spider stay hidden underneath of the sand, underneath of some debris, waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the Hooker's Evening Primrose to grow and have leaves that it could build its spider web on? How many other organisms are waiting for that spider's eggs to hatch so they have something to eat? What problematic insects might that spider be managing the population of through its very existence, through its very desire to build that spider web? Here's a smaller Hooker's Evening Primrose, and we once again see the webbing. Do you see that sort of webbing on the sedges? Do you see that sort of webbing on the black walnut? Do you see that sort of webbing on the pennyroyal? You know, you don't always have to have the answer. There was a time where I felt a pressure to be able to explain the things that I'm seeing as an expert. The real key is to keep asking questions, because the questions cause you to observe a little bit more closely. Without fully answering the question, I sort of answered the question. You see that certain things are taking place on only certain plants. What conclusion can you possibly draw from that other than, well, that plant must be specifically important to specific other organisms? Obviously, a specialist is focusing on a special plant. And exactly what that organism is doing with that plant, well, you don't have to have that answer to be able to conclude that that plant's existence is important. One more thought regarding the Hooker's Evening Primrose as I walk through this nightmare. Some people who want to defend the goats are likely arguing, hey, how can you say the goats are bad if you're seeing those primrose there? Okay, we'll start an entire other debate weighing the evidence of whether or not the goats are the reason that a certain plant has shown up. Here's what I'm going to challenge you with. If you do in fact think that the goats are responsible for that positive, and that plant is going to be at its peak, this is a perennial, not an annual that's supposed to die, then how can you be glad that the goats come through and destroy that plant? You're saying the existence of that plant is a good thing. You're giving credit to the goats for that good thing. And then the goats destroy that good thing. So sorry, dear. The only reason I scared him is because I'm so clumsy. There he goes.